Hi everyone, my name is Frede and today I'm going to be doing the BookTube Watching Tag. Everyone and their grandmother has done this tag already, but I didn't really get to sitting down and filming it myself when it was making its rounds last month or so. But I think the questions are really interesting and fun, so I decided to sit down and film it after all, although I have not been tagged, but I don't really care. So this tag was originally created by Harriet Rosie and I will leave her original video down below. And now let's have a look at the questions. The first question is how many channels are you subscribed to? And for me that is 166, but that's not exclusively BookTube. I also watch a couple of other people, like people who do artsy stuff or, I don't know, vlogging stuff that's not related to books, but mostly it is BookTube. Question number 2 is when do you normally watch BookTube? And that very much changes for me. So I have been trying recently to spend less time on my phone, especially before I go to sleep and also right after waking up. I actually want to try and get into the habit of not spending the first and the last seconds of my day on my phone. But usually I will watch quite a lot of BookTube in the morning, actually, when I have breakfast, when I get ready. Sometimes I will actually also watch, or like not watch, but listen to BookTube when I'm walking around. If I have enough mobile data, I might actually do that if I'm trying to catch up on my never-ending watch later list. I also listen to a lot of BookTube when I do chores, so when I clean the flat or when I make food or something, I will usually always have a YouTube video on, which makes it a bit difficult to comment consistently, which is definitely something I need to be better at. But every now and again I do try and pause and write a little comment and then continue doing whatever I was doing at the moment. But sometimes I also just sit down in the evening and knit or embroider and then watch BookTube. Yeah, so I think those are the main times: in the morning, in the evening, and when I'm doing something like cleaning or cooking. Question number 3 is how do you balance watching, reading and making your own videos? Not particularly well. So I think reading has the main priority for me. Obviously you can take a book to places where you can't film or edit or watch YouTube, but also I think it's just, you know, this is kind of why I'm here. So I think I spend most of the time reading actually. Then making my own videos, sometimes like right now, I'm kind of back in the swing of things, so I've been filming quite a lot. But it does take quite a while because on top of the time that filming and editing takes, all my videos have closed captions. So because I do this with every video that I have, I've gotten faster over time with captioning, but it does add a bit of the time. I think when I watch more, I film less, and I think when I film more, I watch less. So I'm kind of trying to find a bit of a better balance with that right now. I think it's been working quite alright like the past week or so, but that's something that's really difficult for me to actually balance that. Like, as I said with the other question, I have a watch later list that is never empty, and it's at like 60 or something right now, which is quite low for my standards. But usually, if it's not a person that I get really excited when they upload, it might take 1 or 2 weeks until I actually get to watching their videos, which is quite frustrating. I'm trying to be better at that, but it hasn't been working so well so far. Question number 4 is there a difference in the videos you like watching and videos that you like making? I think for me that might be individual book reviews. I always kind of want to do them, but I always feel like I don't have enough to say, because the recent reads videos that I do, they are just 5 books per video, so I think usually that gives me enough space to talk about the book. You know, most of the time I don't feel like there's much else to say, or like I don't have much else to say, but I do enjoy watching individual book reviews, even those of books that I haven't read. So I do actually like watching individual book reviews, I just don't particularly like making them. Question number 5 is who is the first booktuber you subscribed to and do you still watch them? I'm not exactly sure, because I sort of discovered BookTube twice. The first time I discovered BookTube was at the beginning of 2014. I kind of stumbled across, I think, German booktube actually. But I didn't really like it. Most people I came across were reading books I wasn't really interested in. But the format of people talking about books was kind of very interesting to me. So at some point I think I ended up on English language booktube and watched some of the bigger YA people, but again, books I'm not very much interested in. So I kind of forgot about it, about the whole booktube thing. And then I found it again, or I remembered it and then looked for it again in 2016, I believe, in that summer. And I think the first person I discovered then, where I was like, wow, you have a very interesting reading taste and I really want to hear your opinions, that was Jean over at Jean Bookish Thoughts, and I still watch her videos. I love her videos a lot. I think she has a lot of interesting things to say. I love her accent. So yeah, that is actually a person that I'm still watching, even almost 2 years after I discovered her channel. Question number 6 is, who is the most recent booktuber you subscribe to? For me that is Laura over at Paperback Winter. I subscribed to her channel last night, so I think that must be the most recent subscription of mine. Question number 7 and question number 8 kind of go hand in hand. Question number 7 is share an old favourite booktuber, and question number 8 is share a new favourite. So for the old favourite, I'm going to recommend the channel by Cinzia over at Cinzia Dubois. Cinzia reads very abstract literature, I would say. Most of the time books I've never heard of in my life, and most of them also I don't think I'm ever going to pick up, but it's so interesting to hear her talk about all of those books. I think she's so intelligent. I think she has so many interesting things to say. Every now and again she also makes sort of video essays where she explains certain, I don't know, academic concepts, and sometimes also in connection to a book or something. So I really enjoy watching her videos, and back when I first discovered her channel I like binge watched almost all of them. So yeah, I think Cinzia is an amazing booktuber and a very interesting person, so I would definitely say that this is an old favourite. And then for the new favourite question, I actually found that quite difficult, because over the past couple of months I haven't really been looking much for new channels to subscribe to. So as I said, I did subscribe to Laura over at Paperback Winter last night. So the past couple of days I've been trying to find a few more, I guess, smaller booktubers as well, but I haven't watched enough from them to say, wow, those are like my new favourites. So I'm going to go with someone that I've been subscribed to for a couple of months, and that is Matt over at MCS Books. His videos, similar to those of Cinzia actually, I think, are so intelligent. He is so eloquent, and I just really enjoy watching those videos, getting in contact with concepts that maybe I wasn't familiar with before, or just generally thoughts that I hadn't had in my head before. He also experiments every now and again with the way he wants to visually create his videos, so super interesting, and I always really enjoy watching Matt's videos as well. Question number 9 is, what is one of your booktube pet peeves? There are a couple of things that just kind of annoy me, but I'm also a very petty person in general, so usually things that annoy me about people are very tiny things that actually don't really matter. One thing that I don't really like, which I also did for a while but then realized how stupid I think it is people, I'm just gonna grab a bunch of uni books mostly, when they do their thumbnails doing it like this, so you don't see the spine, which is just so stupid. Because when I want to look for new channels, I don't want to click on a bunch of videos, watch them, and then see if it is for me or not. I want to be able to look at the thumbnail and see, okay, are there book spines I can read, and judging from that, am I interested in this video? So it's always a bit irritating when people don't do that. Also, one thing that I don't really like, but that is only under a certain condition, that's background music. I find that extremely irritating, but only if it's like a chatty, I'm sitting in front of my camera and not doing much more video, like this one. I think if you like do montages or a voiceover or something else like that, I don't mind music. But if it's really just a person sitting in their room talking to their camera, if that's the case, then I find background music quite irritating. I might still watch the video if it's a person or a book that I really care about, but it does annoy me. Also, one thing that I don't like, but that's not really something that adult booktubers really do, is extreme excitement and yelling, which a lot of YA booktubers do. Like, I mean, maybe that's fun for some people, but I just find it so off-putting and so exhausting. Like, when I click on a video, I don't want to be yelled at. I don't like this, for me, seeming fake overexcitement. I find it irritating and I will usually not watch those videos. But as I said, it's a good thing that this is something that usually only YA readers do. So I'm on the safe side with that one. And question number 10 is, what have you learned from other booktubers? I think a lot. One thing that I didn't learn from a booktuber but from a YouTuber was captioning my videos. So I started to watch Ricky over at Ricky Pointer sometime last year in summer, and she's deaf and she makes a lot of videos about deafness and also about captioning. And watching her videos, I thought, why are my videos not captioned? That I should change something about that. So I think this is a big thing that I learned, just a perspective, because it never occurred to me before that deaf people might want to watch YouTube videos. So this isn't a booktube person, but it's still something that really influenced the way that I make my videos. But then also something very general, I think, that I learned from just watching a lot of very different people on here is trying not to be so tense and trying to fulfill a certain thing that I think that I need to do. Because so many people do so many different things. Even if it's just a little tag video like this one, there will be so many different answers and ways of dealing with those questions. And I think kind of realizing that and watching a lot of very different people helps me relax. The other day I rewatched some of my very early videos and it was really cringy because I was so tense, I think, and like trying to speak perfectly. Like, while I speak and make mistakes, I notice that now and it irritates me, but I just don't really mind, I think. So what I'm trying to say here is that watching a lot of very different booktubers and very different approaches to a very similar basic thing has helped me relax more in my own videos, if that makes any sense. The last question sort of is to tag people, but I actually think that everyone has done this already. I can't really come up with anyone who hasn't. So if you haven't done this tag but you really want to, please consider yourself tagged, do the video. I think the questions are very interesting and a lot of fun. Tell me if you do the video so I can watch it. Also, one thing that I never say at the end of my videos, but I kind of actually want to try and do that every now and again, because I always forget about it. I always have my Twitter, Instagram and Goodreads links in the description, so in case any of those social media places are interesting to you, do reach out to me if you like. I kind of every now and again forget I even have that Twitter and Instagram account because it's not my main accounts. But I do want to try and use it more regularly, so in case that's interesting to you, just putting this out there. But yeah, so I'm gonna shut up now. Thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!